I don't want to hear any complaints about how we don't get original movies anymore or anything like that, because Gore Verbinski is back with his first film in 9 years, and it's original. The last movie he did was A Cure for Wellness, which a lot of people, including myself, did not really like. It's good to have him back, though. This is an interesting one. It stars Sam Rockwell, who I always love. He is a time traveler. He walks into this diner, decked out in like a raincoat and all this weird technology, looking like a crazy person. He says, "I am from the future where an AI has destroyed humanity. I know that a certain group of people in this diner is the group of people that I need in order to fight back and save the future, but I don't know which group of people will be the right combination. This is the 117th time I've tried this. Who wants to volunteer this time?" And then there we go. We have our movie. Sam Rockwell is great. He's perfect for something like this, being completely unhinged as somebody who has done this over and over and is so desperate to get it right, finally. He's a ton of fun to watch. The movie is structured so that we get flashbacks of the other characters who are going with him on his journey, and we see what their lives were like. I really enjoyed those, but I was also like, damn, get back to Sam Rockwell, because he's just so good. He's so enjoyable to watch. Luckily, the other actors are good as well. You got like Michael Pena and Zazie Beetz playing a couple. Juno Temple and Haley Lou Richardson are really good too. So even when we were in those flashbacks, I enjoyed it. I wanted to get back to the main event and just see this craziness of Sam Rockwell, but I enjoyed those sections too. And the movie's over 2 hours long, and it mostly keeps a really good pace because of the structure, because we'll see them make a little bit of progress on their journey, go through some kind of battle to try to get where they need to go, and then we'll splice that up with one of the character flashbacks. And changing it up like that really makes it feel like it's always moving, something is always happening, there's very little downtime. It's like, we gotta get to this place. The actual journey on paper seems extremely simple. We're at the diner, we need to walk to the other side of town to the house of the person who made the AI. But it is so much more complicated than that, and the movie has so much that you're not gonna expect from the beginning. It gets weird. There is some bizarre imagery, just this strange, different types of technology that are in this movie that can create things where at the beginning of the movie, if you had told me that's a thing that I was going to be seeing later in the film, I just don't think I would have believed you, and yet there it is. I don't want to get specific at all. If I even remotely hint at it, you'd be like, what? That's not real. That's not in the movie, but it is. And seeing the flashbacks of these other characters not only informs us about them and what their lives were like, how they ended up at that diner, why they might volunteer to go with him, it also informs us about the world, the types of technology that are eventually leading to this AI overlord, and just commentary about humanity in general, whether it's things like cell phones, VR, things that we're not even at yet, like cloning, but a lot of it is extensions and exaggerations of things that we are currently dealing with. Obviously, AI is a hot topic right now. And so even though there have been movies like this definitely takes influence from a lot of things. You know, people coming back from the future to fight AI, obviously that's been done. But in our age, when we're dealing with the actual threat of a certain type of AI and just all of the wacky shit this movie does with it, it blends it all together into this pile of really original, crazy stuff. And a lot of the humor is very dark. It takes real world tragedies, things that we deal with all the time that have become completely normalized to us, and it kind of slaps us in the face to tell us, hey, isn't it fucked up beyond belief that that's normalized to you people? And yes, it absolutely is. This movie takes very dark events and doesn't make light of them. It knows that they're very serious, but it just shows people reacting to them as if they're nothing, and it uses its sci-fi technology to explore how people might respond to those types of tragedies, like a Black Mirror episode. That's where the humor worked best for me. There was one scene where we're getting joke after joke from these characters, and my jaw was just kind of hanging open. I was smiling. I couldn't really help myself because everything they said was just more and more absurd, just poking fun at the fact that these horrible tragedies can happen in our world and how we handle them so poorly, and how that might actually become the extension of that in the future if we continue on this path and we let it get even more out of control, how we might actually become that detached from our real humanity. Unfortunately, a good amount of the humor did not work for me because I thought it was way too on the nose. A lot of the satire here is so obvious. When you do stuff like I just described, using your technology that the movie is about to expand upon human behavior and make comedy out of that, that's where you get really creative. But you have a lot of stuff that's just like, kids are on their phone a lot. Kids call people boomers. Kids don't like to read. And that shit is just so easy. That's so obvious. And it's goofy, it's over the top, it's intentionally done that way. We've got an AI slowly taking over, so literally the robots are like doing this to the people. But it is meant to be funny. And when it's so obvious, when the commentary is so basic, kids sure do use their phones. Man, that stopped being funny a long time ago. We know. You gotta do more with it than that, which luckily they do in some parts of the movie, but there are plenty of parts where it really is just like, hey look, that guy's got a phone in his face. Wow. There were also certain elements of the plot that I didn't feel like were properly explained, and maybe I just missed it. I could be stupid. That's possible. If you've seen the movie, let me know if I missed something, but I feel like there were elements of why Sam Rockwell was even there in the first place and how he knew the information he needed to get this whole thing started, where I was wondering, okay, we're eventually going to find out like how he came across that information. And we just don't. And the movie works without that. It's still a fun journey, but there are just little things that feel like you could have had extra plot twists in there. You could have had a little extra depth to what we're exploring here. Like there's this one piece of technology that is like motivating one of the characters in the group to go along and help save the day. And the whole movie I'm asking, what is the deal with that piece of technology? How exactly does it work? Why is it behaving the way it's behaving? There's got to be something to that. We're going to learn more about that eventually. We do not. These things are not the main point of the movie, so it functions. It's still enjoyable, but these are things that could have just added more to it if you expanded upon these and made them into some interesting twists, because there are other twists, but those were really predictable. There's one in particular that's like the big one, and I saw that coming. So I felt like, okay, you're trying to reveal that to me, but I already knew that. There are these other things that I would like you to reveal to me, but you're just not. So I had some issues with the plot there, and where it focused I felt like was a little off from time to time. So to be honest, overall, I found myself a little disappointed because I've heard a lot of hype about this movie from festival screenings and stuff like that, but I still had fun with it. I think it's absolutely worth supporting in theaters because it is highly original, it's wacky. I wish the plot had had more complexities to it because it seems ripe for that, it seems set up for that, but then it actually maintains kind of a streamline. I wish some of the humor had been less on the nose. It's just a simple, fun ride. It's not really about emotional depth. It's just about fun performances in this really cool sci-fi concept and a journey which is really well structured and really well paced, and there's some fun action. And it does leave you with some things to think about, even though it's so ridiculous and over the top at parts. It is making relevant statements about our states of technology and our behavior and how we react to all of this. But I'm gonna give Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die like a 6 out of 10. I think it was solid, it was fun. I think it's probably gonna struggle at the theaters because of how different it is, and even because of the title being kind of weird. But I do recommend going to check it out because it is original and it is fun. It's not something I necessarily see myself going back to, but I enjoyed my time with it. It made me think of something like Everything Everywhere All at Once, also a long title, but with the sci-fi concepts and all of the bizarre shit that comes on screen. I think that movie is way better than this one with its humor and its emotional core, but it made me think of something like that. It's like a light version of that, and so maybe you know a little bit what you might be getting into. But leave your thoughts down in the comments. This was all just my opinion, so if you really connected with a lot of the humor, you thought it was too on the nose, you didn't see some of the twists coming, or you want to tell me what I missed about some of the things that I was questioning, leave it down in the comments. We can talk about it down there. Thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time.